Is this the most awaited compact car of the year? Well, I definitely think so. The Kia Sonet, it is finally here, and we recently did a video where we compared all the compact SUVs in the country today, and the reason for that was to find out the benchmark that will go up once the Sonet comes in. So the Sonet is here, and today we have two variants, both in the GT line. Well, because this is Evo India and we are all about sportiness. This, the gold colored one, is the turbo-petrol with the iMT transmission, and the cool looking black one is the 6-speed automatic on the diesel. Is the Sonet all that it has been hyped up to be? Let's find out. Now, we don't do too many of these design walkarounds on the Evo India channel. This channel is all about the driving. But Kia, they press a lot of emphasis on styling. So we should take a minute or two to talk about styling, especially since the tagline of the Sonet is wild by design. Now, both the variants that we have are the GT line, which is a sportier trim. It gets this gloss black for the grille with the red inserts, red striping on this skid plate. And overall, it does look good. Now, the Sonet is inspired by two animals, the tiger and the baby elephant. Tiger in terms of this tiger nose grille, which is characteristic to all Kias, and baby elephant, I think this kink, that's what they say, has been inspired by the trunk of a baby elephant. No, even I can't see it. As for other details, it's got these full LED headlamps. They call it crown jewel headlamps, and the DRLs, they call it the heartbeat DRL. Again, I don't know why that is. Crown jewel, the only thing that comes to my mind is get a crown jewels back from the Tower of London. Moving over to the side, you get these plastic cladding around the wheel arches, plastic black cladding at the bottom, and that gives it that butch SUV kind of stance. This GT line trim gets a gloss black roof, so two-tone roof, gloss black mirror caps, red inserts out here. It gets 16-inch MRF tires on the top end variant, and the GT line also gets this red brake calipers, which is a cool touch. As for the profile, it is no different really from the Hyundai Venue, and both the Sonet and the Venue are similar cars, same platform, same wheelbase, same length, same width, same height, same weight, all of that, that's the same. What differentiates it is the design. On the rear, the tail lamps are joined by this full width red strip, which is not fake. It has got the LEDs out here, LED tail lamps, LED headlamps, so a lot of techie features out there. It's got this gloss black bumper at the bottom. It's got the fake diffuser effect and fake exhaust tips. That also is becoming somewhat of a characteristic with Kia. Even the Seltos has fake exhaust tips. And this Sonet in black. Now, black doesn't photograph well in video. The details don't come alive, but in the flesh, in the metal, I think this black, it looks really, really cool. I think it's the best looking compact SUV right now in the country. Remember those days when compact was always prefixed by horrid in terms of design, because all of that were like chopped at the rear because the designers couldn't figure out how to manage proportions within 4 meters. This Kia Sonet, it doesn't look like that. It looks well proportioned. The detailing is excellent. The stance is good. In fact, it does look bigger than it actually is. I think Kia have done a fantastic job in terms of design. But ultimately, you can really make up your mind in terms of design. You can see the cars and you can form your own conclusions. What we are going to tell you now is how they drive and whether any different from the Hyundai Venue. All the engines and transmissions on the Sonet are all familiar. We've already seen it and experienced it on its cousin, the car that we're not supposed to talk about, except for this one. Now, it is the 1.5 diesel, but it gets a variable geometry turbo, and that boosts power up to 113.4 bhp. It gets more torque, 250 Newton meters of torque. It also gets a 6-speed automatic transmission. And honestly, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised by its turn of speed. Step on it, the shifts are quick, and it really does move. It is surprisingly quick. It's very refined, very silent. There is no noise, vibration, harshness coming through either the steering wheel or anything really. It's very quiet and very quick. It is the surprise package, to be honest. The enthusiast choice could possibly be the diesel. it gives you the power and also the range. When I got the car in the morning, this showed a range of 1025 kilometers. 1025 kilometers on a full tank of diesel. So diesel is still a little bit cheaper than petrol, but it gives you huge range. So with the diesel Sonet, you get the convenience of an automatic transmission, you get performance, you get massive range. It's excellent. I'm sure it's going to be expensive also. It's not going to be cheap, but this is fantastic. Best of all worlds. Surprised I'm saying those words, but it is true. The automatic, it also gets these drive modes. So you have sport, normal or eco. I've been driving it in normal and it works perfectly fine. And the traction modes, so you get snow, mud and sand. Now it doesn't have four-wheel drive, so it's not going to really change the amount of traction that you get if you get stuck. If you get stuck, you're going to stay stuck. You will need a tractor to pull yourself out. It only changes the mapping of the traction control, but that's about it. So these modes are okay. It's not something that really I would spend extra for, but you get it, so it's great. This turbo petrol engine, it is quick, and when it comes on boost, which is around 2,500 RPM, it really does get a move on. It is an enthusiastic engine. It is a 3-cylinder engine, so it doesn't sound as smooth or as refined as a 4-cylinder, but hey, I'm not complaining. This is not like majorly unrefined or anything like that. It's just me finding things to criticize. More often than not, you're not even going to notice the noise. In fact, the sound seems a little spotty because all the sound is accompanied by a proportionate increase in speed. Makes 118 bhp, 172 newton meters of torque, so it is a powerful engine. And the transmission on this is the iMT transmission. It also gets the DCT twin clutch gearbox, but the iMT transmission, like we've seen on the Venue, like we've seen on that other car, is over a lakh of rupees cheaper than the DCT. So it is a more affordable, cost-effective solution if you want a sporty engine with some amount of power, but don't want that inconvenience of constantly clutching in, clutching out in city traffic conditions. We drove this from the Kia training center to our shoot location in Mumbai traffic, and I can tell you that the iMT is a very, very convenient transmission. It is a very intelligent solution to the problem that we have of stop-go city traffic conditions, and this definitely makes an AMT seem like, well, not very nice, let's put it that way. Because here you don't have that head toss, you don't have that unrefinement of an AMT. Of course, you do have to work your left arm, but like I said in that video that we did on the Venue iMT, I shouldn't mention the Venue again, but you can watch the video here. There's a link here to our exclusive video. Watch the video there. I'll come to that. And there I did mention that what is it that really irritates us about stop-go city traffic? It is not the shifting gears. It is the clutching in, clutching out, modulating the clutch. That's what irritates us. And that is gone with an iMT transmission. So what you heard, let me just play it out for you again. So that buzzer, that tells you that you are in too high a gear and downshift. The car, it will not slip the clutch and ruin the clutch for you. So the car, it actually sorts out the reliability issues, and there is no reason why this system should not be as reliable as a regular manual gearbox. There's also no reason why the iMT should consume any more fuel than a regular manual gearbox. Now, the Sonet prices are not yet out, so we don't know what sort of premium Kia is going to charge for the DCT gearbox over the iMT, but it should be in the ballpark of a lakh of rupees, which is a fair bit of money for a car costing 10 lakh rupees. So it is a premium solution, the DCT gearbox. This iMT gearbox, I think, is a very smart solution. So how does the iMT shift? You know, I'm driving a bit enthusiastically now. I'm going to shift it all the way up at the red line, 6,500 RPM. And it shifts with verve. I can shift a little quicker, but I am an enthusiastic driver. Regular driver, I don't think will be able to shift all that much quicker than what the iMT transmission does for you. So it's good enough. Honestly, it is good enough. And when you downshift aggressively, it also blips the throttle for you. But all of this holds true for the Venue. How can you not mention Venue in your video? Because this is the same, right? All of this feels the same as the Venue. So what's different? Now let's focus on that. It starts off with the exterior, which is great looking, honestly. I think it's a clear step up. And then the interiors also feel more premium, and there is more equipment. It starts with this massive touchscreen infotainment system, which is lifted straight off from the Seltos, 10.25 inches. So it is massive, and for a small cabin, such a big screen, there is so much of digital real estate out here. You have your CarPlay display on 3/4 of the display, and then the other quarter you can adjust between the compass heading or your navigation. So there's a lot that you can do over here. It gets Uber Connect, which is the same as Hyundai's Blue Link, so concierge functions and all of that, plus over-the-air updates for the maps. It gets an air purifier, which they also call bacteria killing. So when you're in the Sonet, I suspect you don't have to wear a mask. I suspect. Don't take my word for it. Please do your research. You get a sunroof, but then the Venue and everything else also gets sunroof, so that's not a USP, but you do get digital clocks. Now, I am not a fan of digital clocks, but that said, the execution of the digital clocks on the Sonet is pretty good. The rest of the Sonet's cabin, oh, very nice. This nice flat bottom steering wheel, which is the same as the Seltos, and the Seltos is a more expensive car compared to the Sonet. It gets seat coolers. Seat coolers get my 2 thumbs up. Honestly, it is such a good thing for the heat of our country. I don't care for a sunroof, really. In fact, I prefer the sunroof shut. But seat coolers, every car should have seat coolers, honestly speaking. It gets a rear view camera, so that's there. The design, I personally like it very much. Now, the rear space is tight like the Venue. They have done some jiggery pokery with the seat design or whatever, so they claim that it's got a larger boot than the Venue, but it's a few cubic centimeters, so really not that much. And the space is good, but it's not great. The Nexon, for instance, the XUV300, they do have more spacious cabins than the Sonet / Venue. The seats, this GT line trim, the seats are actually fantastic. The kind of equipment that you're getting nowadays on a compact SUV, I must point out, the armrest, the door armrest, that is also leather covered. In more expensive cars costing 20-25 lakh rupees, that is plastic. But here, this is leather covered, the door pad. It's fantastic, the kind of attention to detail that is there on the Sonet. The more time you spend with it, really, the more you appreciate this car and what Kia has done. I'm sure this is not going to be the cheapest compact SUV, but it definitely feels and looks like the most premium compact SUV. I like this all-black theme of the GT line, though honestly the all-black theme does not help the cause of spaciousness because it makes the cabin feel a little more cramped than it really is. But for me, the space is alright, though other compact SUVs have shown that within 4 meter footprint, you can get more space, especially at the back. The WRV, for instance, now that is surprisingly spacious. And that brings me to the driving dynamics. Now, as we said in our compact SUV shootout, the link is out here. I won't tell you which car won, watch that over here. So as we said there, the Nexon, it has excellent ride and handling. It feels more grown up, feels like a proper SUV. The Sonet, in comparison, is a little stiffer, a little firmer. It doesn't ride with the plushness of the Nexon or even the XUV300 for that matter. But overall, the driving dynamics are pretty good, pretty sorted. The Sonet, it will indulge your enthusiastic instincts. You can drive it fast. It will put a smile on your face. A lot of our viewers asked us on social media if the Sonet will make for a great daily driver, and I say for sure it will be great to live with. Compact footprint, no compromise in terms of enthusiasm, in terms of the thrill of driving. It's a perfect daily car, and over normal roads this ride quality is also fine. It feels a little firmer than its rivals, but I like the firmness to it. It has that European sense, that European ride quality, where you can throw it over poor roads and it will take it all within its stride. It gives you that sense of confidence, let's put it that way. There's no float, there's no wallow, the car's not all over the place. It's a nice, planted, sophisticated, premium feeling SUV, compact SUV, let's put it that way. What is there to criticize on the Sonet? The ride a little too stiff, the space a little too cramped, and that's about it. It ticks all the right boxes. Subscribe to the Evo India channel and hit the bell icon to keep pace with the thrill of driving.